All right, so we're going live now, and my dear Ugandan friend, why are you so sad?
Daddy, please look at my hair. Look at how bad it looks.
There's nothing wrong with your hair.
I haven't done it in 3 weeks. I can't even find any hairstylist.
I've got you sorted. Easy fix. Just download it on your iOS or Android phone, and you're good to go.
Wait, can I also get clients? Because I'm also a caterer, and I've failed to get clients.
Only you can't do hair. Only you work on the radio. Only you cater.
Is it my...
Don't worry. Easy Fix will still solve your problem, but this time it's Easy Fix Pro. Guys, there's a new work mobile app in Nigeria, and it's called Easy Fix Africa Pro. I think it's the best work app in Nigeria for now. The app enables business owners, taxi drivers, and skilled professionals receive job offers and also search for jobs around them. The app actually serves as your online business office and will enable you receive service requests from customers. Whether you have a physical business office or not, EasyFix Africa Pro will make you visible online and more flexible in business. Download the app for only 2,500 naira a year, no commission fees, and that means 2,500 naira now, and you don't pay again for 1 whole year. Download EasyFix Africa Pro for 2,500 naira only, and EasyFix Africa for free, and start enjoying the services.
Ooh, thank you.
If I go and do your hair, it is 96.9 Cool FM. After Dark with Daddy Freeze and the Lobsters. And we've got an amazing guest with us, Auntie Elvina, that's what we call her. As old as I am, me too, I have elders in the industry. And my elders are very good looking.
Sound very old.
My elders are better looking. If I didn't say it, a lot of people wouldn't believe. They'll just think, Daddy Freeze, why are you calling Auntie Elvina? And maybe I shouldn't have just called you Elvina so that they'll say, okay, they have the same age. No, she's my auntie.
yeah.
All right, she's here to talk about her movie, Bling Lagosians. Yeah. And she's also going to talk about her personal experience. You know, all the I Stand with Busola, the Koza Gate. She's also going to share her own experience. You know me, I'm a very balanced guy. I like to balance the narrative, not control the narrative. Unlike some people I know. Anyway, so tell us about Bling Lagosians first.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me.
You're most welcome.
And the Blingers, yes, we're blinging all over Africa at the moment. The Bling Lagosians is a movie that's produced by someone who's a veteran in theatre, but this is actually her first movie directorial debut. Her name is Bolanle Austin Peters.
Yes.
And I'm sure if you live in Lagos, you must have heard of that name at some point.
Terra Culture.
Producer, owner of Terra Culture, producer of great shows like Waka, Nicola Bokuti Queens. I think that's a proper title. But I mean, she's prolific in stage. But this is her first movie, and she directed it. And as you can probably tell, but from the name, the Bling Lagosians is all about the Lagosians that bling. Now, who are the people that tend to bling? It tends to be the high society. You know, when you think of bling, you think of diamonds and flashy stuff, big cars.
Yeah, Ferraris.
So it's about the aristocratic Lagosians. But you see, when you watch this film, you will realize that not all that, let me change the saying a little bit, not all that blings is gold.
But you know that.
And, you know, it's a great movie. There are a lot of messages in this
in the movie.
I hate to talk about it that much because I don't want to give away the plot, but it's not about a party. It's in the trailer, you might think you're going to watch a film that's all about a party. But it is far from that. It's about pretense. It's about
Lagos.
It's about status quo, yes. It's about Lagos. It's about relationships between husband and wife and forgiveness in marriage. You know, there's so many messages in this movie, and it's got an amazing cast. I mean,
tell us a bit about the cast.
There's Tony Abraham, that mad girl. There's Mona Lisa Chinda. There's Uncle Jide Kosoko. There's Prof. Come on, Elvina. Fosudo.
Yes.
There's there's Osas.
Yes, yeah.
Osas. Alex, you will not believe it is Alex Akubo. I mean, this role, when you see him, it's going to blow you out of the water because you've never seen Alex
like that.
This. It's got Minga Titiloye.
Oh yes,
in it as well. My humble self.
Did you act or you were just?
Shaggy. I acted. I played the role of Mupolola Holloway.
Oh, wow.
My party must be unrivaled in the land of eco partydom. The big boys and the inner caucus of the Lagos elite, the custodians of Lagosian class, the 1% of the 1%.
Oh, wow.
So the story is centered around Mupolola and her husband, who are, the aristocrats, the 1% of the 1%, as we say in the movie. There's Brother Shaggy, there's Helen Paul. The cast is brilliant, but the best thing about the cast is that there are a couple of people in it that have never acted before. And they were brilliant. And I won't tell you the names. I want you to go and watch the film. Maybe I'll do a little competition on my Instagram page or something and say, tickets for whoever guesses the two people that have never acted before in this movie. You're going to be shocked. And, Babs, she's all about talent. She's not about, I know I've said a lot of celebrity names, but at the same time, it's not just a movie that is just packed with celebrities for the sake of it being, everybody just brought their talent to their A game. I mean, even people with one-liners, the film would not have been the film without that particular person saying that particular one line.
Yeah.
So it's a great movie. It's not a long movie. You're not going to be sitting there for 3 hours. It's an hour 37. It's straight to the point. As soon as the movie starts, you're in there and you're never bored. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. Most of all, you're going to think.
I'd really love to see this movie, Bling Lagosians. Is it in cinemas already?
It's all over the place.
Have you started making money?
It was, I believe, we're number one in the whole of West Africa. We had the biggest opening weekend. We opened 28th of June, which is last Friday.
Oh, wow.
And I believe the figures are all out, so I can say, it's on the internet. I believe that the Bling Lagosians made 23 million in the first weekend. And the film that came second, it's an American film, Annabelle. It made 7 million.
Oh, wow.
So that's I haven't looked at the statistics.
Do you know, I was about to choose between Bling Lagosians and Annabelle. I'm choosing Bling.
Please choose Bling, because Bling is even above Spider-Man.
Oh.
Yeah, from what I heard, there's a cinema, I think it's particularly hot in Ikeja. It's always so, the shows are always... I was at IMAX on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I got there at about 7:15 for the 7:30 film. It was sold out. And then
you couldn't even watch your own
couldn't
movie.
watch my own.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
All right, quick break. A very quick break this time, and we'll be back in a moment. Don't you dare touch it. Welcome back from that quick break. Still Auntie Elvina in the building, and she was telling us about going to, what's that place called?
IMAX, yes.
And she couldn't get to see her own movie.
Yeah, I had to get tickets.
It's like going to your daughter's wedding and forgetting the invite.
Exactly.
Say,
sorry,
Madam,
you're not invited.
I'm the mother of the bride. Please step aside.
I went with a bunch of friends.
How did you feel?
I felt good, and
I'm sure you felt bad for your friends. Like, oh my God, I could show you off our movie.
But the good thing is that they've heard so much about it that they said, okay, let's go have dinner, and we'll go to the 9:25. So we bought our tickets for the 9:25 then, and it's a good thing we did, because by the time we came back, guess what?
9:25 was sold out.
Wow. So there you go. So if you haven't watched the Bling Lagosians, you're sitting on a long thing.
Long thing. Okay, absolutely wonderful, guys. So go and make sure you get your tickets to the Bling Lagosians. It's available at the Palms.
Everywhere. Genesis, IMAX, it's Silverbird, it's everywhere. It's in Akure, it's in Ibadan, it's in Abuja, it's everywhere. It's in Ghana as well. So, please buy for your tickets, your loved ones, the ones you don't love, your ex, your present, your future.
Yeah, you could take your ex and your present at the same time.
And then toast one girl when you get there. And buy a ticket for her too. So just take everybody. Honestly, I'm not just saying it. You will love it. And it's great that Nigerians are supporting each other. It's great that you go to
Absolutely.
the movies and people are watching Nigerian films, because this is the only way the industry will grow.
Absolutely. And talking about Nigerians supporting Nigerians, the very first West African Idols, you were behind that
I forgot
dream.
you are my brother from Fapa.
Oh yes, that was, that was when
Yes.
Timmy was discovered.
That's right. That's when Idols West Africa, 2006.
Yes. Is there
And,
going to be any other idols again, or you
There
guys just?
has been.
But you didn't have anything
No,
to do
I
with it.
didn't. It was silly. It was a story of King Solomon. If King Solomon hadn't been wise enough to leave that baby alone, he would have split it into two, right?
Yeah.
That was what happened. It's a long story. But I think the franchise was then sold to another company who started doing Nigerian idols.
Yeah.
That was when Jeffrey Daniels came in
Yeah.
and was judging, and Yinka Davis. And I've
Yes.
forgotten who the third judge was. But
I can remember the
yeah,
West
there
African
was
one
a
with that girl
series
that
of-
says it's not working
it's not working for
for
me.
me.
Nana.
Where is
It was
she?
Dan Foster,
Yeah.
Nana, and Dede Mabiako. Those were our
Yes.
three judges. Yeah.
And I think those were some of the best judges. How do I put it? A talent show has had in a while.
Well, in school, when I went to theatre school, and I studied a little bit about entertainment apart from
Theatre
the
school
actual,
where? Tell us.
in England,
Okay.
London Academy of Performing Arts.
Yes.
But that was for in front of the camera, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I also did a little bit of studying for what goes on
Behind the scenes.
It's called the entertainment business. Entertainment has to be at the forefront. So even the judges, they don't get chosen just because they're good.
Yeah.
They have to entertain you as well. So you watch some shows here, and the judges are like,
Yeah.
But then you watch the American ones, and Lionel Richie is slapping this person, and Simon Cowell is throwing water on somebody
Yeah.
else. You have to have that thing. So Nana, even though people didn't think she was great, she was so entertaining because
Yeah.
everyone wanted to see how silly she was.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they picked up that thing.
It's not
You know
working
you're
for me.
good, but it's not working for me. And that's from the person everyone is saying, this girl, but you're still watching her.
Yeah, you're still watching and
You're
you're still
still
picking up
watching her.
something
Say,
from her.
this girl.
Absolutely wonderful. Was that your first encounter with Mr. Dakolo?
Yes, it was. It was.
Did he come and audition
He
like everybody
auditioned,
else?
yes. I'm trying to remember which city, because we had auditions in several cities. I'm trying to remember which city Timmy auditioned. Don't quote me, but I think it might have been Abuja. I can't remember. But we have a process. Before you get on screen, there's a process. You have thousands of people, so you actually have several judges.
They have all those. What was that guy called? Oh, my friends are boy. Oh, my friends are boy.
And like I said, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
So when you go in to be judged, you have several judges.
Yeah.
So we had people like Samuel Oposo, people in the music business. We asked them. We had like 10 or 12 rooms of judges, and because there are thousands and thousands of people. So you go into each, everybody goes into a room, and the judges are asked to pick the best and the worst. So it's the worst.
You're giving us some
Secrets, yeah.
some secrets,
It's the
yeah.
best and the worst that then go when we actually start filming in front of these three judges, because humans are cruel. Humans don't. Yes, they might see someone else. Oh, mommy, this girl is very good. But when they see
All my friends are boys.
exactly.
Oh, my
That's when they're really entertained and they actually look
Yeah.
forward to seeing. But it's terribly, terribly criminal on the human psyche,
Yeah.
because you're telling somebody
Oh,
who
yeah.
really doesn't know how to sing.
Sing,
Ah,
yeah.
God, you tried.
You tried.
Yeah, so the poor person will be
Yeah.
like, yes, I know how to sing.
Yeah.
I won't give
Oh,
up hope.
man.
But that's when we encountered. That was when I first met Timmy. Yes. Yes.
And I saw your comment on the whole Koza Gate, I stand with Busola, and apparently you said you gave an interview once where you spoke about being a rape victim. I never saw that, so this was a new one for me. I was like, oh my goodness. Can you tell us a little bit about that incident? Apparently you said it happened on the 12th of June.
It was 12th of June, 2004.
Yeah.
I was at my boyfriend's place. He had been disturbing me since then. I don't like to go sleep from my house. I like my house. sure you understand. But we went into this little argument. He said, "Oh, it's not your fault because you're a princess. That's why I didn't understand." And it really upset me because I'm not like that at all. So I was like, okay, this weekend, this holiday, since it's a holiday, I must go to this place. Long,
How long
far
had
place.
you been dating this particular guy?
Over a year, because we met when he lived in Benin.
Okay.
So, back and forth, but then he then moved to Lagos specifically because of me, but ended up in Agulegba.
Yeah.
And the reason I never went was simply logistics. It was just logistics, but he made out to be something else. So I said, this holiday, I must go. Make this boy not think, say, I'm being a snob or whatever, So I carried my load from my papa house, went to dinner, and then ended up at his place. And it was early. It was about 8:30.
Yeah.
And 8:30, he went into the shower. I was wearing a long, big shirt and jeans. I took off my jeans. I did my Ibru house now. Folded my jeans and I sat on the bed reading magazines. And the way the bedroom is, it's like if the door is open, you see the corridor. The bathroom is this way, and then the front door is right ahead. So he was in the shower.
Yeah.
Then someone he'd been in the shower for like 10 minutes, so he was rounding up. And someone was then knocking at the door. So he ran out of the shower with his towel around his waist, and he went to the door because I had never been there. I wasn't gonna go near the door.
Yeah, and open the door.
And he said, "Who is it? Who is it? No peephole. Who is it?" So it was a woman's voice. "Missy, something from downstairs." Now 2 of them are on the security team, ironically, and they were having a meeting the next day.
Yeah.
So she said, "I just want to give you one paper or something." She related it to the meeting the next day. So he thought, let me just, should I wait? Should I tell her to wait? Let me go and start wearing trousers. Or should I just open the door small? You know how you peep around and then just collect the paper. As he just opened the door was pushed, as in like he practically fell over. And then there was this woman, the woman was in her towel. She had been dragged out of her shower, surrounded by about 9 boys. And I was so scared because they didn't have masks on. So my mind, I say,
You don't see
this
that.
one's not to kill us, to carry
All
on
right,
the
guys,
ones and kill
we're
us.
going on a break now, and we'll be back in a moment. Stick around.
All right, so we're going live now, and my dear Ugandan friend, why are you so sad?
Daddy, please look at my hair. Look at how bad it looks.
There's nothing wrong with your hair.
I haven't done it in 3 weeks. I can't even find any hairstylist.
I've got you sorted. Easy fix. Just download it on your iOS or Android phone, and you're good to go.
Wait, can I also get clients? Because I'm also a caterer and I've failed to get clients.
Only you can't do hair. Only you work on the radio. Only you cater.
Is it my-
Don't worry. Easy Fix will still solve your problem, but this time it's Easy Fix Pro. Guys, there's a new work mobile app in Nigeria, and it's called Easy Fix Africa Pro. I think it's the best work app in Nigeria for now. The app enables business owners, taxi drivers, and skilled professionals receive job offers and also search for jobs around them. The app actually serves as your online business office and will enable you receive service requests from customers. Whether you have a physical business office or not, EasyFix Africa Pro will make you visible online and more flexible in business. Download the app for only 2,500 naira a year, no commission fees, and that means 2,500 naira now, and you don't pay again for 1 whole year. Download EasyFix Africa Pro for 2,500 naira only, and EasyFix Africa for free, and start enjoying the services.
Ooh, thank you.
If I go and do your hair.
All right, it is 96.9 CoolFM. Welcome back from that break. I wanted us to deal with the ads so we can, because I know it's going to get emotional now. So you said your boyfriend went to the door to get the door, and the woman downstairs was in her towel, and
She still had soap on her.
she still had soap on her.
Yeah, they dragged her out of the bar.
Was she a married woman?
She had children.
Yes.
So I don't know if she's married, single. I didn't investigate, but she had children.
Children.
Because later on, from what I heard, because I never went back there to ask any questions, I heard that they had gotten into her house downstairs. One of her children had opened the door.
Yeah.
And so while these guys were upstairs, there were still a couple of them downstairs holding guns
to their
against
children.
her children's heads.
So that's
so
what
they
made
threatened
her.
her. They told her that she has to find a way to come, because they knew that in that flat there were 3 bad guys. My bobo was sharing a flat with 2 other people.
Yeah.
You know, so they knew that there were 3 bad guys in that flat. So they had to find a way to get in. I'm sure the neighborhood boys.
Yeah.
Because when they now broke in, they just start saying, "Where's the money? Where are the dollars? Where are the dollars? Where's the money?" And my guy and I were looking at each other like, which
money.
money? At first I thought, maybe not my fault. Because maybe in the neighborhood they don't see, because my driver dropped me. I met my boyfriend, right? We all went out with his friend and his friend's girlfriend. Now, because my driver had driven me to meet my boyfriend when we were having dinner, we said, okay, his friend who didn't have a car could take my bobo's car and go and drop his girlfriend. Then my driver would drop us at home. So I now thought that they saw driver dropping one Oyibo person, maybe like Oyibo, so they assume, say, Americana don't land. Sorry, I keep switching to pidgin English.
Please.
They assume that, maybe
Keep it real.
one Oyibo don't come, because they just kept saying, "Where's the dollars? Where's the dollars? Where's the dollars?" And when the guy said, "Where's the dollars?" I said, I immediately broke it out. I said, "Bros, no verse. I don't got money, And he looked at me like, "What's wrong with this Oyibo?" And he just kept saying, by then they started slapping
The
that
guy.
guy around and everything. And I was just perplexed. The woman was just looking. Anyway, they put all of us in one room and they kept threatening him, saying, "Where's the money? Where's the money?" So meanwhile, some of them, there were 9 of them. Some of them were now ransacking because there were three bedrooms, this 3-bedroom apartment that he was sharing with his friends. So they were now ransacking, breaking the doors of the bedrooms because the other 2 guys were not at home. So they had to break the doors down to go into their own rooms. And of course, they were ransacking my baba's room as well. Then, while they were busy doing that and trying to rough up my guy, one of them just, if you see the little runt, on a good day, I'll just push him. Like, he's like a tiny, tiny person, It couldn't have been more than maybe 21, 22, 23 at the most. He don't hide, don't smoke, or whatever it is that they do. He just said, "You come." That's to me. I was like, come to where? Rape was the furthest thing from my mind. I thought maybe he was going to go and, question me quietly, thinking that maybe if I call this woman and I ask her quietly, she might just tell me. That was it. He now took me to one of the rooms next door. One of the rooms they'd broken the door down to.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh yeah, come out your pants." I said, "Excuse me."
Hey.
I know I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
It's not funny.
I said, I said, "Come out your pants, lie down." I said,
Then quickly start begging.
I said, "Me, Elvina, beg, ke." My unsaturated blood kicked in. My grandmother's robo blood. I said, "Bros, shoot me. Shoot me, because
It's not gonna happen.
collector. He now said, so they fear to die. So they fear to die. Well, if you're not afraid to die, maybe your husband could fear to die." Now, cock is gone. And started moving to the next room.
Mm-hmm.
That was when my heart failed. I said, me is going to kill
This guy.
Wetin I won't talk. How I won't do my mouth. Say because I say make collect. This is it. I wasn't a virgin. Sure you understand? That's why I always say this, the most impossible thing of things might be actually what is
Really
possible.
happened. Yeah.
What went through my mind was, but wait, I don't sleep with man before. So now, because I don't want to sleep with this one, now go and kill somebody's child. I said, "Oh yeah, bros, should be not the team you want. Come." And then he now said, "Lie down," and I lay down. But because I was so I didn't
You were
want
traumatized.
it. I didn't want it. So I was, that area was extremely tight.
Yeah.
Very, very tight. Women weekend.
Yes.
It was extremely tight. And it was a reaction.
Yes.
It was my body's reaction. So the first time he now removed his trouser. He was about to get on top of me. The door was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So one of his guys came in and saw that he was about to jump into action. I said, "Oh boy, I think what you can't do for here, I beg, do job, maybe they go." So I said, "Hey, God has delivered me today," thinking that the guy would just stand up and say, "Okay, now true, you talk or something." But he told his guy to get out. His exact line was, "You don't chop this kind meat before." That was his exact line. So he told his guy to get out, that it won't be long, that it's coming. What is it? And then he had his wicked way with me.
Now, did he use protection?
No, he didn't. This is where I'm coming to now. The actual rape wasn't the worst part. It was post. It was the post. The things I had to go through. Of course, I got home. Eventually, thank God, they carried their wahala. The dollars, guess what?
What?
My Bobo's friend had, I think it was $7,500 hidden in his cupboard in his room. But when they had a discussion previous to that day about how we want to do this holiday, we'll get to buy this, because it was like that strike period. The guy said if they turn him upside down and shake him, 20 kobo will not come out. So two of the boys did not know that one boy had money. So somehow these boys got wind of the fact that somebody in that house had that kind of money. So that's where we found out afterwards that's where all this, where's the dollars, came from. But that was like, when we found out, because the armed robbers found the money. You know? Anyway, back to me now. They went home with their wahala. I now told my guy, I said, take me to my father's house. I am now a bona fide snob. Agree, I'm a princess. Because if I was in my father's house, we have Megan, we have soldier, we have dog. Nobody would have been able to do this to me. So I agree, I'm a snob. Take me to my father's house. So he took me home. And of course, I went to meet Oscar. And Oscar, he went berserk. And of course, the first thing was hospital. So I refused to go to hospital that night.
Why?
I just wasn't in the mood. I was just traumatized. I kept having a shower. I just kept having a shower. I was trying to wash him out of me. So I woke up and I went to church first. Then I went to the hospital.
What church was it?
St. Andrew's Anglican Church. It's
Okay.
just down the road from my house.
Okay.
So I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't tell you the name of the hospital because of what happened.
Because of what happened, yeah.
So I went to the hospital and then
Did you feel better when you went to church?
Yes, I did.
And did you feel better after the shower?
No, I didn't.
Because one of the ladies who is claiming rape also mentioned the showers.
Oh, did she?
Yes. Constant having to shower.
That was honestly, I was feeling, no matter how many times I took a shower, I still felt that, he was there. Yeah. And he was so smelly. Dirty. Anyway,
Okay.
went to the hospital and every kind of examination. Oscar said every kind of examination that I need to have. STDs, if you had HIV, that kind of stuff. So I was poked, I was prodded, saliva was there, everything was taken. And then in the process, one nurse says, Madam, but come, what were you wearing safe?
What did you tell her?
I said, what does that have to do with the price of fish? Okay, I was wearing my pants and bra. Any problem?
But you're in your boyfriend's house. What about the woman that was dressed in a towel with soap?
Oh.
Okay, is she going to have a shower in her jeans? Why are some people so stupid?
So, and it's even irrelevant. It's even irrelevant. Even if I was in my pants and bra walking down the street, does that mean you should touch me if I don't want to be touched? What's that got to
I
do
knew I was
with
going to get
anything?
emotional because you see,
And it's coming from a woman. That is the most harrowing part. You see, if you're listening, women out there, we have to support each other. Sometimes we are our biggest enemy. You know, a woman doesn't ask another woman. A man might, if he's... Because it's another thing we need to address. Male rapes. Because most men I know have been raped. They don't even regard it as rape anymore. Because it's become normal. Most boys you meet now, most guys, how did you use your virginity? I was one house girl. I was feeling when I was bathing. Or one auntie from one village. Or one somebody. Nobody talks about the guys. And these guys become traumatized. And a lot of them end up being rapists. Because they themselves were raped. They don't even have to deal with it. It's almost normal. You know? So, I mean, but that's another issue. But the fact that this was even coming from another woman, that was more trauma.
more traumatizing than the rape
actual
itself.
rape. But anyway, I was like, you know what? Just do your work. After I told her that I was wearing my pants and bra, do your work. So she did her work. Now, let me tell you, the rape happened in June. But I didn't sleep properly until December. I'll tell you why. Because if I have sex with you and you have HIV, I won't know now.
Until 6 months.
There's an incubation
Period.
So when you have sex, unprotected sex, and you go in and you say, I'm scared, or this person might have HIV or whatever, they put you on these drugs. Because HIV doesn't really manifest. When it's in your blood, it can be flushed out. But when it gets into your marrow, that's when there's an issue. So if you catch it quick, you have these drugs, according to what they told me, that you take, and it can actually be flushed. So what they do is, in case
There
the guy
is.
was
And they put you on
carrying
drugs that
the
are like
virus.
chemotherapy that can even ruin your kidneys.
I was on drugs for, I think it was 5 months or something like that. And there were plenty of them, like tablets about 4 times a day. So every time I took those drugs, the thing came back. Every day. And also the idea is that, of that, hey, what if I have AIDS? What if I have AIDS? So I couldn't date, I couldn't see anybody.
What happened to the relationship?
I broke up with him.
Did he want to come back?
Yes, yeah. He wanted to. He wanted to stay with me.
Do you feel you are unfair to him?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Because at that time, I really didn't give a hoot about anybody else. You know, at some point, they actually hit him on his head with the back of a gun and he was bleeding. Can you believe I was so upset that when they went, all I could say to him was, take me home. I didn't even ask the poor boy, how is your head? Because his head was bleeding. I didn't say, let's go to hospital. I didn't say, now, it was when I thought about it, I said, you know, even ask this boy, say, whether I die alive, whether I don't die, whether I get headache, do you need Panadol? Because all I could think of was this stench, that smell, and how I wanted to get it off my body, you know. So, anyway, back to the pills. I was on them, and then you now go and do a 6-month thing. So I did my final thing in
December.
And when they told me I was unclear, that was when I went.
And then you could start dating again.
And then I could start dating.
Now, did you take this out on your next relationship?
No.
Did you offer the information up front?
Wait, it's a long time ago, Free, so I don't know if then.
But
no, I don't think so. But if I was asked about it, if for some reason it came up, I've never hidden it. I've never hidden it because I've refused to be ashamed.
Which is what we want to encourage women to be. Once you destigmatize anything, it loses its power.
Yeah.
If you were to see that guy today, if you were to run into him, what would you say to him?
This is when you're going to think I'm really strange.
Yeah.
But you have to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I think people have different ways of dealing with things.
Yeah.
Some people block out things.
Yeah.
Like I know people that can't remember the day their parents, their mom died or someone close to them, or they can't remember the day they were raped. Some people can't even remember at all.
Yeah.
Somebody, I said, but that time this girl was raped now.
Yeah.
Because she blocked it out. So now with me, I look at myself as the apple of God's eye. Nothing in this life bad can happen to me for no reason. I'm sorry. I say that in faith right now. God forbid tomorrow there might be something worse that happens to me. But I can categorically tell you that nothing bad in this life happens to me, Elvina, the apple of his eye, without good reason. So this is how I look at it. I felt that God used me as a sacrificial lamb to change that boy's life, because he's one of the sinners that's supposed to become a saint. Right? Now, that line, you don't chop this kind meat before, is very prevalent. Because I believe that since he had not chopped that type of meat before, he now chopped it, Abby. It's now very sweet, isn't it? When he was going that day, in his mind, this is my own story, in his mind he was thinking, Kai, how I will be with this kind of person again? Is it this kind of life that's going to give me access to this kind of people? So because he touched me, changed. And I believe that one day I will see that boy and he'll be a responsible human being, if not a pastor. And he will say, Madam, I am so sorry, forgive me. And I will tell him that I've already forgiven you.
Would you want him to go to jail?
Because of what he did? By the time I meet him, if he has changed, no. But then, it depends on how many women he did it to before he got to me. Because the important part is that you cannot continue doing this to
and
other
expect
people
not
and
to
expect not to have some kind of retribution. But like I said, everybody in life is different. And I was lucky because it could have been gang. There were 9 of them. I always look at the other side of things.
It was bad, but it could have been worse.
It was bad though. But I don't know where I found, let me say find, because I'm continuing, because I have to continue to find it. After this interview, people start talking rubbish. I can promise you.
Don't worry.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. But what I'm saying is that yes. So what you have to have a certain strength to do what not just me but other women for some reason are doing now, which is coming out. I mean, I talked about rape long time ago. I started talking about rape since I was even in a show called The Vagina Monologues when it came to Nigeria. It was all about women's issues. I'm very much into women's issues, women empowerment. And people think that I'm a feminist, but I'm not a feminist. I just beg women to support each other. That's all.
And men too to support women.
And women to support men.
Yeah.
It's very important. I don't call myself a feminist. I call myself an equalist.
Same with me.
It's good for the gander.
Same with me. It's one of the reasons why I don't preach polygamy. I come from a polygamous family, and polygamy wasn't exactly outlawed by Christianity or Islam. Yes, a man meets his woman and they become one. It's hard to totally erase the Abraham, Moses, David, and everybody else who lived a polygamous life or had other wives. But there's one reason why I don't support it, and it is because if a man can have more than one wife, then a woman too can have more than one husband. And since that's going to create a chaotic situation, I think men should just have their one wife and women one husband, just to be equal.
But there are some societies where women can get married to more than one man.
Yeah.
I know there's a tribe in Ghana, and I believe it's
across the world.
I believe there's a Mongolian tribe, but that one is still on the. It still plays negatively for the woman, because sometimes she's forced to marry brothers. Theirs is to do with property, keeping the property
in the family.
But I'm just an equalist, and I'm not married. I've never been married.
Do you want to be married?
And I always say, I beg, they use and collect money. But people think that it's because I don't believe in marriage. But it's because I do believe in marriage. And I'm not prepared to get married today and then pretend to be happy if I'm not,
for the rest
or
of your
get
life,
divorced tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I always say to God, if you want me to get married, first of all, put it in my heart. That's number one. You made me. You know why it's not there right now.
Yeah.
So you put it in my heart, number one. And then number two, give me a husband that is perfect for me. Nobody's perfect. But I will manage finances. I will manage work. I will manage life generally. I will not go home and manage husband. So if God knows this one is perfect for me, then you should bring him. I'm chilled. I'm the apple of his eye, I told you. I don't get problem. I don't burn my pikin. If another one enter, I go still burn am. Not anybody can do. You can only say Elvina is Asha, which now is burning up and down. Will I be the first Asha or the last?
Abio, let's not forget that David and Christ came from the lineage of what's that Ashawo's name in the Bible?
Why is it that Ashawo names are always beautiful? Not Ashawo names.
I can't believe I forgot her name right now.
Horrible names are always beautiful.
Yes, no.
Delilah. Jezebel. Here's a sound. Even with the guys.
I have a Ugandan Jezebel.
Hey. Please,
Rahab.
my Amal is not a Jezebel. It's a very nice
This one is
girl.
very Ugandan Jezebel. Amal, Are you disagreeing with
Even
me?
the devil's name. If you don't know
Lucifer.
the history, it's Lucifer.
The bearer of light.
But then I can understand why the devil's name is beautiful, because he was God's favorite angel.
Yeah.
So he gave him a beautiful name. You know?
More. Quick break, and when we come back, we'll be rounding off, and this time we'll be talking about something more exciting: bling Lagosians.
Yeah.
So we'll just let you know where you can catch them, and we'll be saying bye-bye to Auntie Elvina, and we'll be thanking her for spending her time with us today. It's been. You can see I'm a bit emotional, but hey, I'm gonna gather myself together during this break and come right back at you. Stick around. Get him, Burna Boy. 96.9 Cool FM After Dark with Daddy Freeze and the Lobsters, and we've got a very special guest today, Auntie Elvina Ibru.
Auntie.
And we're talking about everything and anything, and we ended up with her story, where she told us how she bravely faced an armed robber to protect somebody else's life, and she ended up getting raped for it, and she spoke about it, and that reminds me of a certain lady, Olatokunbo Tola Ajayi, who used to work with the Nigerian Television Authority. Very wonderful young lady, had everything going on for her, and the story we heard was that she was raped. Oh, no, she was robbed. She came out with the story that she was robbed. Yeah. And the armed robbers were caught, and then they confessed
that they had raped
her. Now, we also found out that one of the armed robbers, I think, I cannot say this for a fact, but I think, because this was 19 years ago, one of them was HIV positive.
Oh, I didn't know.
So maybe between the trauma of the aftermath or the disgrace, you see, a public raping story on a public figure.
Yeah.
Those days when you didn't have social media to drive your own narrative. Those days when you are at the mercy of whatever it is they were saying about you. Those days when women were allowed to vote, but that's just it. You know? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been raped before, it doesn't remove anything from you. You have to stand, you don't have to start feeling inferior because you were raped. You don't have to be afraid. Stand your ground. You definitely find a lot of people that will stand with you. But just be genuine.
Yeah.
Because
just be true to yourself.
People like us who are in the media have to also be very careful to balance narratives. Look at what happened to Neymar, for instance. Neymar was sued. it was just about convicting.
Yeah.
Until we found out that he had luckily had a secret recording. So it was the girl that was beating him.
Right.
And when that video leaked, it changed the complexion of the entire story.
Yeah.
But what if he wasn't that lucky? So we need to be honest. If you come out, you will be questioned, but be brave.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Especially
be brave.
when you know you're telling the truth.
If you know you're telling the truth, stand your ground, be brave. It's not going to be easy, but you can make it easy.
Yeah.
First
And
of all.
you know, you have to scare them out of these people, because if these guys out there, or the girls as the case may be, because I keep talking about both, it's not just with women, men get raped all the time as well.
Yeah.
If they know that people are talking and are not scared anymore, it might just, you know, might just get them to think.
And they're slamming you with a name.
It's possible that they will catch me.
But do you think people like name as accusers, do you think the lady, like for example, the lady was lying, do you think people like that make it hard for the masses to believe other people when they come out with a story? Do you think maybe that's why they overanalyze and look into situations? Because there's so many people out there that are also falsely accusing men every day, celebrities mostly. So when ladies come up and say, you know, this has happened to me, we have people, instead of sympathizing or feeling sorry for the person, they're trying to analyze everything. Well, you know, this story doesn't connect to that, instead of actually just, you know, being there for the person. So
I understand what you're saying, and it's making a lot of sense. One or two bad eggs wouldn't spoil the lot, but it also, for the sake of the fact that there was once a Potiphar who once had a wife, and there was once a Joseph who went to jail for many years for a crime he didn't commit. And so many things didn't make the Bible. For example, Christ paying tithe never made the Bible, but Joseph and Potiphar did. So if it was a narrative, Genesis was the first book of the Bible, the very first book. So if it made Genesis the beginning, it was there. We also have to be careful with it now. Now, this sometimes makes it look like we're not sympathetic with the women who are going through. No, we just want justice for all. And we don't want an innocent man behind bars, and we also don't want a genuinely violated woman having to carry her grief by herself.
Yeah.
We just want to be human beings. We care about men and we care about women.
And you didn't finish the story about the lady that you know, when you didn't finish it because some people don't know what happened to her.
Yes. So she committed suicide.
Right.
And because of the stigma that is associated with being raped. So if you're raped, she said, for instance, for 6 whole months, she wasn't okay. She was on medication. She was traumatized. I remember being robbed once when we were growing up. Went to stay with some of our friends who stayed on the outskirts of town. It's one of the reasons why I'd rather rent a house in Lekki in a nice, secure environment than go and live in a mansion in Ikorodu.
Right.
I'd rather rent a flat, as in 1 sitting room, 1 room, 1 toilet, and let us all be queuing to use the bathroom, than for me to go and live in a 7-bedroom. We went to greet our friends. They had a lovely bungalow on the outskirts of town. From the road, once you start driving to their house, it takes about 30 minutes, you know, in between bushes, and then you finally get to their beautiful house in a lovely area. Armed robbers came in the middle of the night, you know, and we're in the house. We heard a gunshot, so I woke up. I ran to the sitting room. Apparently the guy was there. Don't worry, it's our vigilante. The next thing we heard was the voice of the vigilante. Hey, Bamio! Okay. It is beginning to happen. So while this was going on, everybody converged in the hallway. What's happening? With my ears, I could hear like somebody trying to climb the gate. Then the next thing,
it's landed
in the house. Then back out. The next thing, the gate opens. Then they all troop in. They walk straight to the burglar proof, and they cut it in 15 seconds.
Wow.
I say, bah, bah, bah. The next thing, start hearing footsteps in the house.
Hey.
I wonder. I ran to the sitting room to lie down. I just got my car then. I was in school. But I was able to save some money, get some money from my mom. I raised some money, and I got my very first car. So the car was like 2 weeks old. I was like, am I not going to have car in my life again? Am I destined to suffer now? But I was ready to give it. The guy now came. I know then it was a Peugeot 405. There was a separate key for the door and a separate key for the ignition. So when they came to me, I said, this key, this one is for the door. And the boot. This one, when they start.
Okay, don't be annoyed, Maybe no vex.
I was... The girl I was in a relationship with then tried to stop her, say, she put her mother, hey, don't touch her. If you see the slap they gave her, she reeled across the room.
Heavy woozy.
You know, I was so lucky. They didn't take anything from me. I gave them the key. They took the key to the car, searched the car, didn't find anything, and left the key in the door.
Wow.
I'm telling you. But it was, now, luckily for us, in the house, there was a guy, their father had a double barrel gun and some bullets and then some money. It wasn't much money, maybe 30K, but I'm talking about 20 years ago.
That was a lot of money.
It was quite a bit of money. So they saw the money, saw the gun, saw the bullets. They found some. They were happy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Then there were some neighbors who were shouting, ole, ole. The beating they gave those ones. So you're the one calling, you know, and then they went away. But after that, I wouldn't be able to sleep alone at home. I double checked doors.
Any little sound.
You understand? There was a time I went to my parents' house in Ibadan. Then my parents got robbed in their house in Ibadan. And after that, I would go to Ibadan and not stay in my parents' house. I'd stay in a hotel. I was literally terrified. And it's one of the reasons why I don't do Lagos Ibadan. So it affected me. It was a mild situation, but I was traumatized, and I still am. From up till now, I'm just beginning to get out of it, and I'm talking of 20 years. Of course, I didn't hide it from anyone. I, spoke about it. My mom, of course, was wondering, why would you go and stay in the village with, But it could be extremely traumatizing.
It is.
So I know how that
rape,
is.
like I keep saying that. You think, my mom used to say, if you go to a meeting where you can personalize problems, maybe it can come in the form of a purse or something, that you'll be shocked. You go to a meeting and you say, this is my problem, and it's a purse. Then you hear one kind truck, trailer, riding. You say, what is happening? You say, oh, that's somebody's problem. And you now say, sorry, I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong place, and you just kindly and quietly carry your purse
and go.
Now, with rape, I was raped by a stranger. Now, imagine the ones that are raped by their friends. And then people will say, there is no way in this world you didn't want it. Why did you go to the club with him? Then after the club, it's just you and him. Somebody you've known for 20 years? Or has been your friend in high school, you guys are now in university, you don't say the guy, they look your AKB. Somebody you've always hung out with, and, it's like me and Freeze now, and I say Freeze raped me. Then they will now say, God forbid. I mean, it's example, before the story now, Nigeria is not coming, did you hear that? Anyway, but I mean, somebody that's close to you like that, and then people are not going to believe you because they're small-minded.
Yeah.
They're not going to believe you.
And they're going to attack you. What were you doing
it's
there?
It's the same thing with
what
were you wearing?
Now?
Yes. Yeah, that's a silly question.
People will rape if you're wearing jalamiya, you're wearing Reverend Father gown. If he wants to do it, he will do it.
Let me tell you, man. Anyway. Do we take phone calls? 271-0969, 271-1969, 271-2969, and 271-3969. We'll probably just take one. And guys, don't forget the movie is out. It's Bling Lagosians.
The Bling Lagosians.
It is out in every cinema right now. And it is the highest grossing movie this period by a wide margin. And here is, what was your character in the movie again?
I played Mopelola Holloway.
Mopelola Holloway. Do you speak Yoruba?
at all.
That's good enough.
But I had to learn little bits, you know. But yeah. But I want to say quickly, thank you as well. Thank you to everyone who has been to watch the film. Thank you to everyone who has been making noise about the film. Thank you to everyone who has watched the film and posted something. You know, we've had so many good reviews from people that don't know us. They don't have to do it, you know, but they do it. So thank you so much, everyone. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. On behalf of, you know, Bolanle Austin Peters, the cast and the crew, thank you so much. Because without you guys, honestly, things like this are not going to happen. And, you know, proud to be a Nigerian, proud to be Nollywood.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Auntie Elvina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
everybody
having
else.
me.
God bless you all, and we'll see you same time tomorrow when I'll be back with Amal. Hopefully then she won't be so shy. All right, guys, take care of yourselves.